Welcome to Kindling Conversations, the podcast where warmth meets wit, and four friends gather around the crackling fire of camaraderie to share stories, laughs, and insights. So grab a cup of your favorite beverage, settle into your favorite spot, and let the glow of Kindling Conversations accompany you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of your weekly podcast. I'm Ashley, and I'm here with only two of my other hosts, and I don't know who wants to break the news.
Well, I'm Kyle, first of all.
And I'm Caleb, and we did have an unfortunate removal.
Casualty. Yes.
It's with a heavy heart that we announced that Ben and us made a mutual decision and a mutual understanding to part ways from the Kindling Conversations podcast.
So Ben is no longer with us.
He is not.
He was the one that was getting removed all along, not me.
Yeah. It had to come. Four hosts is kind of
Yeah.
to struggle.
Especially Ben just bringing dull,
Yeah, just kind of saying yes to everything,
Yeah. Real yes man.
Yeah.
Him and his,
But I mean,
mathematics, too.
yeah.
To a thou.
Like his thous.
Yeah, can't.
We don't
we
wanna
can't
hear
have that. It confused our viewers too much.
Yeah.
And it really took a toll.
That was really kind of the straw that broke the camel's back
Yeah.
of it.
It was not the bee's knees.
But there were other issues that were arising.
The cats did not have pajamas.
The power struggle between Kyle and Ben was
Not now.
that was a huge dynamic shift. Man, I swear before every episode, Kyle and Ben's arguments, oh my goodness.
I mean, even Caleb and Ben's at one point. I
Yeah.
mean, holy cow.
The
I thought
technology side of things, that was me and Ben's strong suit. And so now I get executive control over that.
I
and
thought
that is
Caleb was going to throw
nice.
Ben into the kindling fire that we had going.
Yeah. Well.
But no hate, no hate.
Yeah, no hate towards Ben. I think we're all still friends. It's just you will not hear his lovely voice.
Yeah.
So.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But
his choice.
It was mutual, I think.
Mutual, yeah.
I think we all came
was
to
all
a certain
accepted.
understanding. So. But with that news broken, I think it's time to
Move on.
and continue on with the Kindling Conversations podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this week we're I feel like we started to kind of do a get to know your hosts and who they are behind the mic. And so I feel like each episode we kind of are showing more and more of ourselves, becoming more looser, getting lots of positive and some negative feedback from our listeners, which is good stuff.
Hey, we take all the feedback.
Yeah, we need it. So,
Oh, wait. Hang on. There was an email we got sent.
There was, yes.
Should we go over that?
Yeah, do you want to?
sure.
Okay.
Weekly shout-outs, by the way.
Yes, weekly shout-outs. First one, we can go into the email,
Yeah.
Which was from Joey, one of our members. And it's his thoughts on the 3 a.m. friend. It's actually kind of a long one. I did forget to forward it to you guys, so I do apologize about that. My bad.
That's all right.
But I'm gonna go ahead and we can take it line by line if you want. It's
Okay.
kind of a longer email, something we can discuss for sure. So he said, and this is the title is 3 a.m. friend. So it's him giving us his thoughts on the 3 a.m. friend episode.
Okay.
He said, I think of it as an Irishman. You take any hardship, any struggles that you have had, and you put it in a jar and you bury it deep down within you. And you keep putting more and more stuff into it. Then one day, when you think you've had enough of filling the jar, you die. For instance, Caleb, when was the last time you saw any emotions that weren't anger or laughter? From Joey. And quite frankly, that's fair. I don't know the last time I saw Joey express any emotion other than anger or laughter or
Right.
contentment too, you know. Um, when was the last time you saw me cry? I've never seen Joey cry, by the way. I don't know if that man has ever shed a tear. Um, seems that I'm very much like Ben in that instance, but probably more so because you'll never know of my struggles because I don't project them ever.
There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody shows emotions and different, you know,
For sure. Yeah,
internal and
everyone's
external things. People like to project because it makes them feel some type of release in themselves. Other people, when they project, they're looking for attention. Hence the encryptive messages and posts on Facebook or social media. Like
Mhm.
some people do on social media, like, don't talk to me unless you're a certain amount of people or certain people, you know who you are, or
Or I'm going off social media for a while.
yeah,
And
logging
then
off, or
Yeah.
somebody like,
12 hours later.
yeah,
Yeah.
somebody posts on like, you know, Facebook, their status is like, I just wish this day was over, and it's like 10 a.m. And you're just like, now people are going to ask what's wrong and show their support. And it's just,
But some people don't want that either.
yeah.
Some people don't want that support. And I think I personally find that weird because I love a support system, but that's me. So the email goes on. Apparently, Joey's going to answer some of my questions that I had posed to you guys. So, I had posed the question in that episode: what is the importance of being vulnerable and open with your friends? Joey's take: I don't believe there is a necessity or necessarily, a reason to be vulnerable with your friends. It's strange for me because I am not one to reach out. You talk about that 3 a.m. friend, and yes, I know I have friends like that. I can call them at any time and they will help, but I know that I will never call them.
And I think that's the stance that Ben was taking too.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I fully agree with that too. Um I because I think we all have friends like that and just can we recognize it or um do we take advantage of that
Right.
too is another thing.
I do
So
think that a lot of people do take advantage of that 3 a.m. friend in like a negative way. Like you're going to abuse it, you're going to use it, but like the person that's answering the phone call who's going to be like dude, figure it out yourself at some point, like
yeah.
stop using me. Every time you answer, that's some kind of reinforcement for the person that's going to call, and so you're just making a pattern.
Yeah. And it's kind of going to be kind of like Boy Who Cries Wolf
Yeah.
is what it will be
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
in the end. The next question I posed was how do you foster mutual respect and understanding in a good way? Um, and he says, I think it's a very natural thing to respect your friends because these are the people that you like. And I think you are more inclined to respect the people of which you like. Yes, you may not hang out as much because they are older and life happens, but you still respect their boundaries when they have a different obligation.
Yeah.
So,
I totally agree with that.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
What defines you was another question, and it's interesting that when the question is asked, most people arrive to the conclusion of their accomplishments. I have a master's. I work here. I live here. I did this. I did that. Um, and this was one I really thought we could talk about too,
Okay.
because I think we do cling a lot of our like what defines you or like what makes you you. I think we cling to those monumental decisions,
And I feel like that's
moments.
happened over time only because society has now turned that way. Like everybody now deserves a participation trophy. And if, you have that whole stance where you're like, no, you only get a trophy if you win, it's like now you're the bad person. And so people latch on to those accomplishments because they're looked at so highly.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. I just feel like what defines me, and it's going to be different for everybody, right? Like, I went through my leadership class and we talked about ego being a big portion. And
Mhm.
In there, basically, we asked the question of what defines you, and everybody made their comments, and he was like, "Yeah, but that
That's
only
your ego
defines
side.
you. That only defines you as what you think defines you, what truly defines you." And it was like this long half-hour
Mm-hmm.
conversation about the only thing that defines you is your existence, pretty much.
Right.
Is that you exist.
Yeah.
Well, and I'll take the stance from seeing it come into the hospital. That is what is getting pounded into so many children and young adults' mind, is that like you are not good enough for this world unless you have X, Y, and Z, and they are like top notch, or mom and dad have money, or like for this person's 16th birthday, they got a new car, but this family, like, they have one car and they all have to share it. Like, everything is weighed out by what you have, what you're posting. Like, it's that whole like thought process on like, you sit there and scroll through social media and you see something, you're like, wow, that person's life looks so perfect and so great, because that's what they want you to see.
Yeah.
You don't see the backside. They don't want you to see that backside.
Yeah.
They don't want you to see that they're fighting every night, or they're going through something messy. It's all a front to make themselves feel better.
Absolutely. That's the best way to describe it, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Is like, if I ask you, a new person, what defines them, they're going to give me all the good. They're
Right.
not going to tell me about, like, when I go out on a date, they're not going to tell me all the bad things,
Right. Yeah.
right? They're just going to tell me, they're going to put a front up for me.
Yep.
And from there, then I have to figure out what the bad things are. And sometimes those bad things don't. Sometimes, luckily enough, they show themselves right away. Sometimes,
They're very delayed.
they're very delayed. And
Yeah.
it's kind of annoying. It's
Yeah.
like, I want to know your successes. I want to know your fails. Like,
It's
I
almost
am not one to be afraid and ashamed to say that, like, I've held a lot of jobs because I was trying to figure out what the fuck I wanted to do.
right.
Finally landed it.
Right.
Figured it out. And I define myself by what I'm doing, but I'm
Yep.
not afraid to say I failed multiple times in my life.
Right.
What
Yep.
were you going to say, Kyle?
Well, I was just gonna say it's almost like trying to figure out a puzzle.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like that's life.
right, just one big ass puzzle.
Life is just a big ass puzzle.
Yeah.
So then let's re-ask that question, knowing what we now know. Kyle, what would you say defines you?
Myself.
Your existence.
Yeah. Like we're all our own person. Like we all define ourselves individually. Like I can't say like one thing defines me. Like besides like traits and qualities and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like we're all our own person. So like I can't say for specifics what defines me besides me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that makes
Definitely.
sense. So,
Yeah. If you were,
I mean, I don't have a master's degree or anything, but like I'm content with that. You
right.
know?
And that's what matters most, is that you're content in your life with what you have
Right.
and what you long for. I mean, life, like I said, is like a puzzle. Like, you're putting the pieces together,
Mm-hmm.
But
and
that puzzle is so big. Like,
it is, and it
and
changes.
you gotta, and different pieces come in and go out, and
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Because if you were to ask me what defines me now, after talking about it, if you would have asked me 2 months ago, I would have told you I'm a restaurant manager. I have a like
The
my
restaurant defines
my
me.
brothers, my sister-in-laws, my nieces, my nephews, my parents. Like, that would be how I would describe myself. But if you ask me now, looking back on it, I failed a lot. And those failures helped mold me to be who I am now.
Right.
but like
So,
those failures within the moment felt so devastating.
oh, absolutely.
But having that in your back pocket, and knowing that, like, look at my past, but that's obviously, you've changed your thinking now.
Yeah.
And your thought
Well,
process.
I mean,
These past bad things made me who I am today.
even
Some-
through the failures, like we still prevailed.
Yes.
Because we've all had them.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
you can't go through life and not fail at
right.
something.
But the fact to move on from those
Yeah.
and learn from them really says something too.
Subconsciously, I've always been defined by my failures because I've just always been one of those people that, like, there are some people that failure.
Do you define yourself by your failures, or do you think others do?
No, I define myself as my failures because my
Okay.
failures are what helped me. I define myself by my failures and my successes because
Okay.
it's what ultimately defines me as the person I am today.
Right.
Right. But I think, there are people out there that failure is debilitating to them.
Right.
They shut down. They
lock
can't-
themselves away.
they lock themselves away, and
Yep.
it can be a small failure or it can be a big failure. But they're gonna feel like they failed, and they're gonna feel like they failed other people. Whereas I've always been a person that I may fail, and I recognize that I fail, but I've always been one that I can pick myself right back up by the bootstraps and continue trudging forward. And
Right.
that is a very big metaphor because I don't wear boots. So, but like that's just what I do. I pick myself back up and I chug forward, and I just let that failure mold what I do next and what I
Right.
try next. I know that I don't like that. I know that that's not for me.
Oh yeah, I'm the complete opposite.
Where you let failure debilitate you
Oh
almost.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like subconsciously, I know it always works itself out. Something always it always turns around and
She
stuff.
needs reassurance.
A
Yeah.
lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But
And that's
even like the
okay.
reassurance, I still don't want to accept it because I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I've had XYZ and I keep
See,
boiling them back up.
the perfect example, like we're total opposites, I
Yeah.
feel like, because how many times have you guys heard me say, I'm going back to school, guys?
If the viewers or the listeners could see my face.
Yes, right.
I think, well,
in the
now I'm like
past-
immune to it. Like you
Yeah.
say it, I'm like, okay, Caleb,
Okay.
what's this time?
Yeah, how long are you going to make it this time? Which I did good last time. I made it a whole semester,
I'm so proud of you.
and then a half a semester, and then I dropped out
Did you drop out with a W at least?
for 2 of the classes.
Oh, Lord.
But again, I don't let that stop me from trying again. Now,
No.
I think I'm at a point where I realize, hey, maybe school just is not for me. Maybe a certificate might be better if I need something.
There ain't nothing wrong
Right.
with a certificate.
Right. And people do very well for themselves without even a certificate. So, that being said, I've learned now, but it took me quite a while
Mhm.
to learn, but that's okay.
Right.
Before we get off on too much of a tangent, I'm going to read the last couple portions of this. To my question of 2 people to bring back. Joey agrees with Ashley, but to add to that, he would not bring anyone back because they are already dead. He would much rather have someone who is alive to help him instead.
Oh, I like that.
So
Okay.
I do like his answer to that. The last portion of it is just a funny portion. I do have to forward this email to you because if I have to pay, you have to pay. But he said, P.S. Here's a shot of my toes. I do expect a payment of $5 from each of you for having seen them.
Well,
So I will send that to you so that way you have to pay if I have to pay.
I will not look at it and block it.
I
got to make sure they go to market.
I texted. I should start an OnlyFans that's just a viewer sent in pictures. Or
Man.
listener sent in pictures.
There's a feet finder.
There is Feet Finder. You're
It's
right.
like OnlyFans for feet. I've contemplated.
Joey, I'll
just
pay
like, you know.
you 25%.
Jesus, 25%.
25%'s not bad. I mean, he's the one providing the pictures.
Yeah, you got to give
Oh,
him
that's fair.
some.
So, but yeah, thank you for the email, Joey. It was greatly appreciated. I think we had at least one thing we could talk about for sure there.
Yeah.
And I know if anyone else wants to send us an email, you may do so by sending it to kindlingconversationspodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Or is it the Kindling? Oh,
How dare you forget our email?
how dare I? It is just kindlingconversationspodcast@gmail.com.
And then our weekly shout outs.
Yes, who are we shouting out this week?
Probably the same. So, we got Devin.
Sore Embers,
Yep. Devin, Haley, Aaron,
Joey.
Joey. Um,
Do we have anybody new in the Ember Club?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
I do have one person that said that they were going to be an Ember, and I totally believe her.
All right.
So she said
right.
her and her dad subscribed. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
so don't forget to drop us that review too, that 5-star.
I feel like there's more that we're forgetting.
There's no birthdays this week from any of us.
Oh, Ben. Ben's probably gonna be listening.
Oh yeah, we can
know?
shout Ben out.
Yep.
Unfortunately, so unfortunate what had to
Our
happen.
devoted listener that just.
Yep.
on
Hopefully he
his own
remains an
terms.
Ember though.
Right. Hopefully, yeah.
I mean, hopefully he supports us.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's it.
Okay,
for
Ashley, do you have any
shout
shout
out?
outs?
No, not that I know of.
All right. Well, shall we introduce this week's official topic of conversation?
We sure can. So this week, you are going to get to know your hosts.
We're
pet
going on a ship in our favorite rocket ship,
Their
soaring through the sky.
pet
Little
peeves.
Einstein.
So diving into like your top pet peeves and then going down to like the nitty gritties.
I was gonna say, my brother's notorious for knowing your pet peeves, like for knowing how to piss you off.
Yeah, some people do that.
That, like, to a T.
Some people have a knack for it, man.
But like, I've never met anyone that like does it. Like, he knows it does it. Like he knows what it does, and
But he
still
does it
fucking does
anyway.
it. Like
he wants
doesn't give
he
a
wants
fuck.
the reaction out of you because it's humorous to him.
And then he acts surprised when you fucking freak out on him. He's like, "Whoa, take it easy." It's like you asked for it. Like, Anyway,
All right, well, what is yours, Kyle?
Yeah.
so, one of my big ones is like feeling people exhale on me, which I'm sure you guys know. Like, I get personal space and stuff like that.
What
like,
about Mocha?
I don't mind hers. Like if we're cuddling or something, like I don't mind it, but like another human,
So if I were to just come exhale on you right now,
yeah, like that shit. Like, I won't fight, but like it irks me.
but you'd want to.
So like when me and Ashley are in bed together, I have to face the other way, because I don't want to, and like vice versa too. Like I don't want to exhale on someone, like not intentionally, but like if I'm breathing through my nose, I don't want that air to touch the other person. So like if we're sleeping in bed, I have to face the other way, because like I just don't like the feeling. Another one would be like, let's say we're in an argument and you are, pulling out points that I had said or words that I had said, and you say fucking words that I said completely wrong.
Like you misconstrue.
Or you like put words in my mouth that I never said. That shit pisses me off too. And Ashley is notorious for that.
I just did an eye roll.
Like, completely notorious. Like, we'll be fighting and she'll be like, "Oh, well, you said this." No, I didn't say that. You can fact check yourself. Like that really irks me. So some things Hunter does is like, if you and him are fighting, he'll just follow you around. And by follow you around, he's like on your fucking heels. And like he'll keep badgering you. And it like it's like, dude, you can lay off for a
So
little
he'll
bit.
continue to instigate.
Yes. Like you'll try walking away to like get distance from him, and he's still on your ass. It's like, dude, back off. Like there was one time in my dad's old house, like he was right on my heels, and I went in the bathroom and I slammed the door so hard it like went out, like it went past the hinge. So it like bent the whole fucking door outwards. And then he's freaking out and I'm like, what? Like you're the one following me. He's like, I was surprised. Like, whoa. Like, yeah, I don't know what you expected, man. Like yeah. I feel like there's more.
I mean, we could
But
start. I bet you when we start like talking,
Oh yeah,
things will
delving
come up.
into it, yeah.
absolutely.
So one of mine, I had to write them down today while I was at work. Otherwise, I was gonna forget. So like, it's over time. I wouldn't say like instantly, but it's like over time. I'm a very like self-conscious person of like what I'm doing, and like if I'm making a loud noise for somebody, like in the office at work, like we're going through our meeting, and if I have to open up like a food bag, I'm like very self-conscious, like, oh my God, I'm gonna disrupt other people.
It was like that in school too. Like
Yeah.
a bag of chips.
Yeah,
And it's almost
or
worse when you do it slowly too, because you just hear it.
Yeah.
crinkling,
yeah.
Like
So
like opening the fridge at 3 a.m. and it just creaks like
or the microwave. You're like,
yeah.
so I'm like, I mean, that's me. But like, I never really realized it until I started with my bachelor's working with special needs kids. And like the chewing, like
oh,
people's like lips smacking.
With your mouth open.
I don't know. It's like,
Oh man.
I had a kid, he really liked cereal or Hamburger Helper. And it's not really the slurping. I could care less about the slurping. It's just like
Sometimes you gotta slurp.
I don't know, like the wetness in like the person's mouth when they're like eating, or like,
can I help you?
I don't know, even like at the nursing home when I had my CNA, like, like the pureed thickened foods, like having the people be like after
Yeah.
every bite, it runs, like it starts in my toes and it just like runs through my body, and I get this like real urge of like anger.
Chewing with your mouth open for me.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Just close your fucking lips.
Yeah, like it doesn't take much to just chew with your mouth closed. Like, oh my god.
I don't need to hear you chewing.
I
Yeah.
know another one of Ashley's too that kind of goes along with food.
Don't.
No, I'm not gonna say it,
Oh.
but like words,
Yeah.
Oh,
some words. So like some
Like
people hate the word moist.
moist. Yep.
You
Like-
wore that shirt on our like
First date.
yeah. Well,
I have a shirt that says moist.
second date
Yeah,
I.
wore it.
to Six Flags in public.
But see, the thing is some of them I don't understand. Like the R word for Ashley, which is not the R word everybody thinks it is.
It's not the hard R.
It's oh my God,
Retard.
stop.
It's a food R. You guys have heard us say it. I'm pretty sure on the podcast.
I just
before.
don't. I think it's because, and I'm not a big texture person. Like I can handle a lot. I don't know. It's just like I feel like the idea
No
of it,
way.
that fucking stupid sayings. Like
I don't
no,
understand why you hate what no way though.
because it's used so
What?
much now.
No way.
It's so stupid. Like it's either what, because like you're surprised or you're stunned, or it's just simply no way because you think the person's joking. Why are they together?
Because
What is the point?
So like for me, when I watch that, and I know where you're getting it from too, like the what no way guy. The what? No way.
Yeah, because he doesn't think
But-
something's gonna work.
But that's just it. Like I am surprised that even exists. And I'm saying no way because I don't believe it's going to work. But I have to try it, right?
No. You watch somebody try it and make that stupid saying.
No,
But I'm also not like a big vocabulary person.
you don't like big fancy words.
I don't.
That's fair.
And I just think it's because, like, to me, like,
I like big words.
I don't know. There's something
They
about
make
big
me feel
words
smart.
that, like, I'm sure they make you feel smart and stuff. But if the other person doesn't understand it, how smart does it really make you look? Like, I'm just going to be like, all right, whatever. I don't even know what the frick that means.
Bitch, I am smart.
That's exactly how I would feel. Like, oh, you don't know what this means, but I do, and I know how to use it in a sentence.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's my job because I'm like the interpreter for
That's fair.
a lot of patients and their families when these doctors start rattling diseases, different cancers or treatments off. They're like, da, 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 and people are like so shocked that, like, okay, let's step back. Let's start with the surface. Let's break it down.
That's fair.
Right.
Like, I mean, I had a patient who the family was very simple. And there's nothing wrong with it, but the doctor goes in and tells them, like, oh, his lung cancer that we didn't see on the CT scan a week ago is now there, and then 3 days later we did another CT scan and it metastasized, and now he has nodules in the brain and they're bleeding and blah blah blah. And it's like there's no emotion on the family. She pulls me out and she's like, Ashley, what? There's no emotion on them. Like, I think something's wrong with them. And I'm like, you just laid a huge diagnosis on them. And do they even
Well,
know what metastasized means?
I was gonna say doctors have a tendency to use these. You know how there's legalese and law, like contracts.
Yeah.
Doctors like to use the big fancy words that they learned in medical school.
But it's
the
not
patients.
beneficial. Like, sure, document it all day long in the chart, whatever, to make yourself look good. But to the patient, that and their family, that is what they're going to remember offhand, is that this doctor sat down with them and explained it to them in a way that they can understand.
Well, I feel like they're trying to stay professional too,
Honestly, I
and
think
like
part of
sound
it,
professional.
for some of these bad diagnoses,
They're nervous.
they're nervous, so they use these big words so that way the family doesn't know what they're talking about. So that way
Yes.
they kind of
But
don't have to be the one to break.
reality
Right.
side is that I'm the one that has to break that bad
I
news
know.
with no, like, full on medical training on this. And then the family starts asking me, well, what are the options? And it's like,
Well-
I now can't answer that.
Well, the
Yeah.
doctors use medical terms to explain it, but as the social worker, I feel like you have to explain it more on ground level where they are.
Right. But
You know what I'm saying?
it's being a human.
But the doctor should be able
That's-
to do that.
See,
Right.
now
So
we're
that
getting
way-
now we're getting into one of my pet peeves that I didn't know I had until I got into like working, is that it's not hard to be a human and meet somebody where they're at.
Right.
Like, we all know you have, some title of a doctor behind your name. That doesn't change the fact that you can sit next to this grieving sister who has taken care of her little brother their whole life because they had a rough upbringing, and you can hold her hand like a decent human and tell her, your brother's not making it out of this hospital, and let's make him comfortable. How would you like us to do that? It shouldn't take the social worker. I can be there, to help assess things
Yeah.
and be an extra support. I know how to handle those feelings. And yes, doctors are very busy and they can slip away. Well, I can now be one-on-one with them.
Yeah.
But they have all their questions answered. And I mean, I can answer, okay, next steps. Let's start talking about a funeral home. Why is
Mhm.
this important? Let's talk about, are we doing a cremation? Why is that important? Like, I can give those. Like, I just met your brother. You know him. What would he want to make him comfortable? I mean, sometimes it's heck, they're like, they just want to die with a beer in their hand. Perfect. Let's go get a beer. Like, oh, they want to see their cat, their dog. Perfect. Let's go get them.
Right.
Like, that side, doctor doesn't have to take care of. But if you can sit there and bring it down to their level, like, hey, metastasized. Do you know what that means? That means that the cancer moved from one area to the next very quickly. Like, it shouldn't take the social worker. Do
learn
your
something
freaking job
new
and be a
every day.
human.
You learn something new every day. I learned today what metastasize means.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with you because there's sometimes the doctors talk. There's sometimes I leave the doctor's office
With more questions than you went in with.
that,
Yeah.
or like I called Kyle after my last doctor's appointment, 2 doctor's appointments ago. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And
Something.
all I know is I read the right side. That was a lot of big words, and I said, so basically my doctor's telling me I'm fat and I need to lose weight.
Yeah.
But he couldn't tell me that. He had to put like obese by X amount of percentage or whatever.
Your
and all of that.
BMI.
Yes,
Yeah.
but why couldn't the doctor just say, "Hey, you're fat, lose a little bit of weight"?
I feel like because today's culture, people get offended.
I know,
really
I
easily.
know.
Yes.
You got some
Um,
snowflakes.
Like you.
No.
No, Kyle makes it more so a joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he does.
He went from morbidly obese
Morbidly, yeah.
to obese.
I am
Which is an
morbidly
improvement.
obese.
Just wait till you're obese.
Really?
Yeah, trust me.
I should get going to the gym to do that. I
It's
still
like-
pay for a gym membership that I've not been going to.
No?
No, it's been about a month and a half, 2 months almost at this point.
Oh, man.
Tomorrow,
You going
There's-
tomorrow?
we'll say that.
There's always
Okay.
tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow.
Hey, it's not summer
Um,
yet, so you got time.
Just like that sign that was at the bar, and Kyle, it said free beer tomorrow, and it took Kyle forever to understand it.
Wow.
I wanted to go back for free beer.
But then you read the sign again, and it's tomorrow.
Yeah. You want to know one of my biggest pet peeves?
What's that?
Oh my goodness, and I hate this one. I have a couple. One of my biggest ones though is when you're in the middle of like trying to explain why you don't like something and someone has to interject themselves into it, right? Let me just give you an example, okay? I absolutely very strongly dislike the little handhelds that people use at restaurants, like servers.
Oh, the toast?
Yeah. I strongly dislike those.
Wait,
Why?
hang on. What the fuck is the toast?
So they're little handhelds where servers can
device
put
that,
the
like,
put the order in.
Nielli's has.
Yeah, but that
The
has
toast
a name?
Toast is the POS system that
Oh, I
those are
didn't know
with.
that.
yeah.
Oh.
Why? Why do you hate them?
I think it takes a level of disconnection or of connection out of the service portion of it, which I think is one of the main reasons people go out to eat.
I feel that.
It's because they want to experience a new restaurant or they want to experience the restaurant. And when you take out, I feel very disconnected from my server when they come, right? But
And they're
I
glued
can
to
be
it?
in, yeah.
Right.
So,
But here's what I hate. Here's one of my pet peeves. So, and this is my example, is I hate those, right? And so when I start explaining why I hate that to somebody, and someone goes, no, but they're good because they, reduce ticket times in the kitchen and they do this and they do that. It's like, can you please let me finish my thoughts
yeah.
before you go and ramble on? Because I have rebuts to all of that.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're not there yet. I'm first. Let me explain why I dislike it. Let you explain why you like it, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, but it's like a whole agree to disagree.
It is.
And I see your point, definitely.
And I get the point that, like, with those, you do
But it's-
reduce ticket times in the kitchen
It's
and stuff.
technology. Something happens. A ticket cannot get put through sometimes too, I feel like, because it's technology. Something's going to happen. I mean, we
Yeah.
had printer issues today at the hospital. We're a freaking hospital. We live for our printers, and we couldn't print discharge summaries because our printer stopped working. Like, and then people are like, "Oh, well, if you you had X, Y, and Z. And it's like, no, because a lot of our patients like that paper copy.
Yeah. I don't know. I just when people don't let me get my thoughts out, it really, really, really ticks me off.
Yeah.
Because I want to let you know how I feel about something. I want to give you the opportunity to rebut me.
Definitely.
I think just like any good debate, right?
Right.
I want to give you an opportunity to rebut, but then now I'm going to want my opportunity to rebut you.
Mm-hmm.
And if we
That's a
want to
good
have a fluid,
discussion.
if we want to have a fluid argument,
Mm-hmm.
we can do that argument in a discussion format rather than screaming at each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or I really hate it when people flip. Like they'll be in agreement with you, and then all of a sudden you say something, and then
Oh yeah.
they flip, and now they're on the other side, and they argue it from that point of view
Yeah.
rather totally.
Well, it's different if they're playing devil's advocate
Yeah, and
compared
they
to
say
just
that.
yeah.
But there's some people that you say something about why you dislike something or whatever, why you like something, and it's just like that one thing that triggers them, and they move to that position, and then now they are contradicting what they said prior,
Right.
Yeah.
and that pisses me off
One
beyond
thing.
belief.
So sorry, is off topic. One thing
No,
that
you're fine.
pisses me off. So, it, when someone gloats about themselves, like, don't get me wrong. Like, for example, I'm fine if someone is proud of something they have achieved, like Ben passing his midterm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some big achievement, like you getting, hired as a manager. Like, I'm fine if you gloat about yourself. But to rub it in someone else's face.
Yes.
So, like, for example, like, oh, I'm making this much money and blah, 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 blah. Like, just constantly rubbing it in your face compared to, just generally being happy about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that really irks me too. Like,
I hate story toppers.
Yeah.
someone that tries to top your shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can be going through one of the biggest struggles of your life, and someone just has to come in. Well, I felt worse.
Yeah.
I've had this happen to me. And it's like, but our struggles are going to be completely different.
Or they turn
or
it to be about them and
or-
not you.
Or on the opposite side of being negative, guys, I just went on this amazing vacation. I took a tour of Wisconsin. Ugh, that was nothing like the time I went to Australia.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Bitch, I don't care about you. I just did this. You did that 5
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Like this is what I saw.
This is what I
I enjoyed
experienced.
this and this.
This is
Right.
my experience. This is my life.
Yep.
And it's not that I want to make the conversation all about me, but I'm talking about what I got
You're
to
excited about.
experience.
Yes.
What I
Yeah.
just did. You got to be excited about Australia 5 years ago.
Right. Now let me
You
have my
can
turn.
get now let me get my moment.
Yeah.
And sure, is Australia a lot cooler than driving around Wisconsin? Absolutely. 100%.
Depends on who you are. And that's the
Uh,
difference.
Right.
It depends on the bugs.
Because
Fair.
you would not catch me down in Australia.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to
Yeah.
Australia.
Some of the animals I could cuddle with,
Right.
but not some of the insects.
There's a lot of for me, it's I really want to go to Australia. I really, really, really do.
I'd love to see the atmosphere and the culture.
But those
The
spiders.
spiders, I cannot do. No
Nope.
way, Jose.
You wouldn't catch me out in the bush.
Yeah.
There's no way.
So I have it's a twofer. I hate when people are on in public on speakerphone. It just it drives me nuts. And it's there's no point when you're having just a simple you conversation. Why are you in the store, in the hallways of the hospital, having a speakerphone conversation that is pretty private?
Right.
And then secondly on that, people who interject themselves into a conversation you're having. For example, we kind of where we sit at the hospital, we have the unit clerks behind us, And like most of them are great. Would not survive without our unit clerks. And what?
He's drinking.
Oh, I thought you were raising your hand because you had a question. I was like,
No.
He took the lid off his
Oh.
water.
so I will be like setting up, and like their job is to like, monitor the discharges and stuff. I'll be setting up like an ambulance to come take a patient for discharge, and like I'll be going through it, going through all the general information, name, date of birth, what did they come in for, what's their insurance.
Did you just do the downward dog on the couch? You see that, right? He like folded himself down to his knees and then folded back up.
No, I did not see that.
He did like a whole ass yoga pose on the couch.
Okay, Caleb, whatever's
I gotta get my yoga in.
We can do
What
yoga
the
after this
fuck?
episode. No, I mean like actual yoga. Kyle, yours and I's yoga is a little different.
Okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
anywho.
Finish, Ashley.
So that sounded
Yikes.
slightly rude. That brings me to my third. Hold on, I'm on 2. And like the dispatcher is like, okay, what time works best for you? Like, what time is this discharge going to be set up? And I'm like, 3:00 if you have it open. Sure, let me go check. So they put me on hold because, they got to check through their system, or they got to see if an ambulance is going to be in the area. They got to do their part. This unit clerk will be like, Ashley, what time? And I'm like, on the phone, right? So I'm ignoring her. Ashley. And then they come back, and I'm like, okay, great. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye. Hangs up, and she goes, Ashley, is that for John Doe in room 78? And I like turn around, and I'm like, yeah, I literally just got off the phone. Can you wait till I put my frickin' note in? Like, Jesus, it's not urgent. It's noon, and this guy is going at like 3:00. Hold your dang horses. And now my third one is, hold on, I gotta articulate this. Don't be sighing. My third one is Kyle.
Wait. If it's about one of us, I have a question.
Okay, go.
So take it as constructive criticism, like no hard feelings, but what are some things that we all have pet peeves about each other with? So like, what is a pet peeve you have towards me, Caleb? Ashley towards me towards Ashley, me towards Caleb, Caleb towards
Okay,
Ashley. You
let
know
me
what I'm
go.
saying?
Okay, Kyle, my pet peeve with you is that when I say something, like, not in the way that, like, you want it. So, like, there's certain words, and I will call myself out. Grade school, I had to go to a speech therapist. There's just, like,
So did I.
words that are together, not words, letters that, like, are
Well,
together that I cannot
I don't
formulate.
I don't dog you for it.
But just don't. This is Caleb's point. Don't be getting defensive with me.
No, I'm
I'm
not.
telling you. You said take this as
No.
positive criticism.
Yeah.
So take this as positive criticism,
No,
Kyle.
I am.
Okay, so don't
I'm-
try and defend yourself.
No.
Hold on.
I'm just saying.
Back
I correct
back
you.
the truck up.
I correct you.
That
What?
I have been corrected on words my whole life. You have no idea. And yes, I know you said you went to speech therapy too,
Yeah.
but not to the point like I did. Where it was, I missed, like, I got taken out of reading, which, blessing and a curse, to do this. I missed, like, indoor recesses. I missed, like, extra playtime on Friday and, like, kindergarten through 4th grade because I was in speech. So you saying, in quote, not dogging you, but correcting you is like, it to me is the same thing.
Well,
Because
no.
I'm like already embarrassed because I know I can't say that word, but there's no alternative word. And if there was, I would be using it. 2 is like professionally I'm trying, and just like generally like I'm trying, and at some point I'm just not going to be able to say it.
Well, like when I correct you, it's not in a bad way. Like I don't make fun of you for it. Like sometimes you might have blunders in your words and stuff, and we'll laugh about it. But
Right.
like
Because like
it
I
won't be
notice it myself, but like
right. But it won't be anything like I'm not laughing in your face about it. Like
no, but
you know
the whole like okay, let's
Well,
keep doing it until you say it right. That's when you
because
like
I'm trying to help. Like when you say Massachusetts, right?
yeah.
Like yeah, you say the word wrong,
I
but I
know.
try.
I
you-
know.
I'm
Can you
not.
tell us?
I'm not
how you say
making
it?
fun of you when you
Like me without concentrating.
Yeah.
Massachusetts.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
when I try to break the word down for you, I'm not making fun of you for it. I'm trying to help you pronounce the word better.
I get that, but
You
so
know.
us going over it for 15 minutes trying to break it down just for me like
Like it's not like a game to me. Like I am actively in my mind trying to help you and help you, actually pronounce it for when you want to.
yeah,
You
but like
know,
I'm a Wisconsin girl. When do I ever say Massachusetts? Like
what if you're going to go visit Massachusetts?
I will not visit that place.
Well, I'm just
I
saying
have no
like,
desire
you
to
know,
visit there.
or what if one of your patients is from Massachusetts and you're trying to make small talk and you're like, "Oh, I see you're from Massachusetts." Like, how do you think that's going to go over?
I will not. If I see that, I will avoid it at all costs,
see
or
what I'm
I will
saying?
like, I'll beat around the bush. I'll be like, "So, where do you live?" And they'll say it, and I'll be like, "Oh, how is it there?" Like, I'm very fast thinking when it comes to words that I cannot say,
Right. Like,
like
yeah,
the
but
T's and the CH's. Like when they're together,
right.
game over. Don't ask me to say shit.
Right. But yeah, I'm not like by dogging. I would consider dogging to be like a negative term. Like like I'm not negative towards you when you mess up your words or this and that. Like at least I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to be more positive than anything.
Yeah.
You know, like because like yeah, I get it. Like yeah, I went to speech therapy, not to the extent that you did, but
I mean,
I
and
still went.
my speech therapist, like, she was the bomb.
So was mine. Yeah.
Like they have a whole different heart. They're amazing.
Yeah, like
She came up with so many smart games.
I used to have a bad stutter back when I was younger, and she helped me get through the stutter. You
Yeah.
know, like I mean, wonderful woman. I don't know if you ever met her, Caleb, Miss Thorpe.
No. Well, yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
Wonderful woman.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Do you want to know what mine is for you, Kyle? I
Sure.
have 2.
Whoa.
Okay.
So, one of them is it actually happened today when I ask you after we're on the phone. I'm like, "Do you want to get on the game?" And you say, "I don't know, maybe."
Mm.
Just tell me no. If you don't want to, just tell me. You're not going to hurt my feelings, but just say no. Just tell me no.
Low key, I actually, when you like ask or like Ben asks, I low key like, and we say no, like I feel so guilty.
Don't.
Yeah, that's
You're
kinda,
not hurting my feelings, and I can't speak for Ben.
I try to avoid the guilt by not saying.
Yeah. Just tell me no, please. Because here's what's going to happen.
Like it's not that I
Is
don't
I'm going
want
to be hopeful. And for so long, Kyle, I was so hopeful. I would get
You
on the
broke
computer.
Caleb's heart.
I would get on the computer or on the Xbox, and I would sit there and I would wait. And it would never, ever fucking happen. You would never get on. And I would just be like,
Caleb,
there's 3 hours of my fucking time
Caleb,
wasted.
let me tell you, like when you would call Kyle and I'd be home and stuff, and you'd be like, "You want to get on the game?" And Kyle would be like, "Oh yeah, maybe." I would push. I'd be like, "Go, babe, Kyle, Go play the game.
No,
He's
she'd
like,
roll her eyes.
oh, and then he'll sometimes fall asleep, and like I'm like, oh my god, Caleb's probably sitting waiting. Oh my god,
It's like at this point when Kyle says maybe,
you know it's a no.
yeah, like,
It's
and
But
I
not-
just
call
be
him
straight up.
and I call him out on it now.
It's not
Like
that
today,
I don't
I
want
said,
to.
oh, so no, like
Yeah.
that's fine. Just tell me. Just tell me. But
So,
you want
like-
to know? You want to know what's even worse than you saying maybe when I ask you a question?
What?
You want to know what's fucking worse?
Oh, he's getting comfy.
You want to know what's fucking worse than that?
He's doing a half downward doggy now.
Take your time.
I do that shit because I know it hurts you.
Take your time. I will be mid-sentence and have to formulate a thought.
Yes.
Formulate a thought because I'm like, I can say this and it can come out one of two ways, and I got to make sure I
Right.
say it in the right way.
Right.
And so you'll take a breath, you'll take a pause.
Yes, and it's a
For a
very
moment.
it's a very slight pause. You're like
3 seconds.
yeah,
And then Kyle will come on and just say,
take your time.
take your time.
Oh.
I
Oh, he does that.
Oh.
He does that during arguments, and I just want to fucking nail him in the nose because I'm like, this conversation's done now.
It makes me want to
You wanna-
exhale on you.
You want to be cocky like that, you
It's my
SOB?
favorite
We're
thing.
done.
Like, it sounds rude, but like, I love doing it.
Oh, dude. Dude. It
I
is
like.
like,
I'm
it's one of
getting,
those
I'm
things
getting worked up right now.
I know. It's one of those things for me that, like when you say it, I'm like, forget whatever the fuck I was
Yes.
talking about.
Like, just let me sit there and let me like process what I'm going through.
I feel like
I am toxic as fuck
I-
for that, and I
I've-
love it.
I've never had to do this, but I feel like this would be Kyle, okay?
Mhm.
Like, I feel like I'd have to walk up to Kyle and tell him my dad died.
Yeah.
Right?
And you'll be like,
And I'll be like, and Kyle will be like, take your time.
yeah, I give
Like,
you
fuck you!
110% to just nail him in the nose. Like totally bitch slap him.
You know the fuck you, Tony, you know?
Fuck
Fuck
you,
you,
Tony.
Kyle! That's how I
Yeah.
feel when you say, take your time.
He does that on the phone too. Like when we
Oh.
would argue over the phone,
He does it in text.
I
He
instantly
does it in text.
instantly would hang up, and then he'd call back and be like, I don't know what happened. We must have got disconnected. And I'm like, I'm fucking done. So I hang up again, and he'd call back, and I'm like, what? And he goes, we lost connection again. It's shitty service. I'm like, Kyle, I'm fucking done talking to you. Like, I'm done.
Dude, it's
Mo.
it seriously it
No.
irks me.
No, you are not doing that.
No, I was doing it for Mocha. I wasn't.
I thought you were starting. No, seriously though, take your time. That's
That's
my
such
big
an
one with
ass
Kyle.
move.
That's my big one with Kyle.
You want to know what I see Kyle, because he always says like, "Oh, I'll be a social worker and stuff." Sometimes these conversations are hard for patients, and sometimes you got to give that that space, some room for them to just process.
Take your time.
Kyle would say that, dead right there. Your report is gone
Yeah.
out the damn window. Like, don't even try entering that room again.
Dude, seriously.
Yeah,
I know you do it, and at this point I'm null to it. I'm numb to it. But
Nah, it still fires me
no,
up.
it still fires me up. It really does. You can tell because of the way I'm fucking talking about
If
it.
me and Ashley
But-
are in a heated argument, I will fucking say it just out of spite.
Yeah,
because I
But
know
then
it
I'm like,
pisses her
okay,
off.
so the conversation's done, right? So then I my defense mode is like, I need to process everything that has
She
happened
goes into a different room.
in silence. Like, I need to be by myself to process
Yeah.
this. Otherwise, I'm going to say something that I don't mean.
I'll just come walking in, and it's like real quiet, and I'm like, take your time.
And
Dude,
it's
why?
it's really like just like, let me process. Like, this is how I've done things my whole life, and then like, why is it so bad that you can't understand this?
Dude, I could go for hours and days with this, but
Okay, so what's mine?
Yeah. What's a pet peeve you have for Ashley?
you want me to be truly and brutally honest?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what this is about.
Take your time.
We joked. Fuck you, Ashley. I know we joked about it earlier before the podcast.
But all 100% seriousness.
All 100%
Yeah.
seriousness. It's like sometimes I do just want you to be supportive, and
Okay.
you fail to. Like, and sometimes I know it's just you joking around, but there are some times where I'm like, just be a little supportive, Ashley. Like, give me false hope. I don't fucking care, but be a little supportive. Don't
Okay.
be the asshole.
Okay. I got you.
That honestly, that's probably my biggest and almost only one.
Okay.
The only thing, that, like, for you two together, though,
Oh, we got a
you got
together.
a together one.
Twofer.
Oh, okay.
When you guys fucking argue in front of us, I feel so awkward. And there are some times where you guys start an argument right before, like, me and Ben are about to leave. And this has happened. Where me and Ben were about to go to Walmart one day, and you guys got into an argument.
Yeah.
You guys got into an argument, and me and Ben just kind of looked at each other. And at one point, we looked down at our phones, and we started messaging each other. How do we get out of this? So finally, we were like, we're just going to leave. We got in the car, and we were like, Ben, why did I feel the need to argue in front of us?
I can tell it makes them feel awkward. So like that's when I just kind of sit there and I start agreeing with you, and I'm like, yeah. Uh-huh.
But like, there was one time I was sitting right here on the couch, right? We're like in between you two.
Yeah.
Ashley was up doing something. This was not that long ago.
I know what this one.
You guys got into this argument. I don't even know what the fuck it was about. I'm sitting there. Ben had left already, and I'm the only one here. And I'm just like, I really want to go.
It was bingo.
Nope.
Oh,
I know what it was. It was appliances.
Oh yeah.
No, but it was on bingo night when I went with my mom to bingo.
Yes.
Because you came home in a fucking bitchy mood.
No, she came home in a great mood, and then it was like,
Yeah, and she flipped a switch,
flipped
right?
the switch. But no, I sat there and I was just like, I want to go, but I don't know how to say, okay, guys, I'm going to go because you guys were going at it. And so finally I was just like, I can't stand any more of this.
That's what
So
fucking pisses me off.
I just got up and I was like, all right, guys, I'm going to go. Bye.
That's
and
what
I just like
pisses me off.
hurried right the fuck out.
She'll come home in like a great fucking mood, and then something gets on her fucking mind, and then instant bad mood, and then she starts an argument. And it's like, what the fuck? Like the appliances, she came home in a great mood, and she goes, so here's what I was thinking. And then just fucking instantly, like,
yeah.
we had talked about this prior. And then she starts arguing about it. It's like, what happened?
The thing is just like, it makes it so awkward for like me and Ben. So like there a couple times, I'll be honest, there have been a couple times where like I've messaged Ben and like, do you just want to go somewhere to like, so we'll make some excuse like, oh, we got to go and get such and such, just that way we can let you guys hash it out and not be sitting here awkwardly like, and like me and Ben are looking at each other like, holy fuck.
Well,
is this the end?
No. What's funny is like, I'm sure once you guys get into the car or whatever, Ben's like, this is Ashley. Like, I'm not fucking surprised.
Oh, 100%. We're like, I agree. I can see where, but I can agree with. And
but I'm so mellow sometimes too. Like I feel like I'm just getting fucking beat on.
There are times though where I'm just like, as a best friend, should I tell Kyle he's wrong?
Absolutely.
But at the same time, should I also correct you when I think you're wrong?
No, because I'll kill you.
Exactly. So I'm not.
It's a losing battle.
I'm not
Welcome to my boat.
I'm not gonna correct Kyle, but never correct you.
Yeah.
But I will say,
that's how it's supposed
in my
to
opinion,
go.
I don't ever give my opinions. Like if you ask my opinion, and Kyle has asked my opinion before.
Yeah, because he'll bring you in. Yeah.
Well,
I will always say I'm not getting in the middle of it.
My whole point is like, if I'm doing something wrong, I want you to correct me.
Right. And as a best friend, I should be correcting you.
You should, and like I won't be mad if you were against me.
Right. But
I
there are moments. There are
but you
moments.
can't correct her.
But the thing is,
That's the thing.
Yes, you can.
No.
for me, you just said.
Yeah, you don't want to hear it.
I would be open to your
maybe
to your idea.
maybe as someone that's not you, Kyle, maybe she might actually be. I don't know.
I
But
would
what
be
I do,
open to your idea.
what I don't want is I don't want to correct one of you or give my opinion
Mhm.
in your argument, because there are times too where I'm like, holy shit, they both make great points.
Mm.
And like, I don't want to be the one that like gives my side of the view, and now I'm drug into this argument
Right.
that I don't want to be in anyways.
Yeah. I think most
fair.
of our agreements come from it's
Disagreements or
or disagreements, yeah,
Okay.
arguments. It very much stems from a power struggle.
what you think is a power struggle?
It definitely is defined as a power struggle between us because
I will say this.
you are very stern and stubborn on this, and the whole like we mutually agreed on this, and then I come with a new idea. You're like, no, we already talked and discussed this. You're very hard on that.
Well, so I know you're talking about the appliances.
But just in general, we
But
have
my
multiple
whole thing was that
Don't start arguing on the podcast,
No.
guys.
but we had talked about it, and then you came home, and it was like you brought it up, and then it was final. Like there was no discussing it with me. Like you you made up your decision, and that was that. And that's what pissed
So,
me off. Like
Would you like me to give my insight on
we're
that
not going to
argument?
argue about it because
Yeah.
they're
Now that it's
installed
done and
now.
over, they're installed,
Yeah.
whatever. My opinion on that was one of the arguments where I was like, I see both of their sides.
Right.
Yeah.
Kyle made a valid point about you already like
Waited this long. What's
you've
a little
waited this
more?
long, what's a
Yeah.
little bit more. But on the same token, I agree
We've
with Ashley
waited this
more.
fucking long.
You've waited this fucking long. There is a solution. They have some of your stuff in stock, so why
Right.
not just get it fucking installed?
Right.
before they
so-
give it away.
Right, because that was one of the problems. Was they were
Yes.
giving shit away that should have been your guys's.
Right.
They weren't holding it for you guys. So, like in some aspects, I saw Ashley's argument. In some aspects,
No,
I saw
and I
Kyle's
will-
argument.
I mean, after taking a minute, I did see Kyle's side too. It was
Right.
just so frustrating
Yeah.
because we were dealing with this for how long, and it was supposed to be December, and then it was January, and then it was like it just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed.
I am dying to know
Hmm.
before we get this episode to be way too long-winded. What's yours with me?
You're fucking snoring. Granted, you're trying to fix it.
May 1st.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So yeah, but so like that.
Something
That's
that
not
really
too bad.
is like more in my control than, which that kind of is.
So in general,
oh my god, can I say mine?
Sure.
I think. Okay, just say it.
How whiny you are! Oh
Oh.
my god!
Okay, that's not where I thought that was going.
Give me
Like-
an example.
Jesus! Oh, I could go on.
I
It's
just
just-
need one example so
It's
I
just like
understand.
very minuscule little whinies, and it's just like something will happen or whatever. You'll be like, no, and it's just kind of like you're just like,
Like what?
Kyle, help, or Ashley, go get me a girlfriend. And it's like,
Damn.
bitch, I can't save you. Like you have to.
I need a solid example
One-
right now.
One thing.
all
Wait,
the
wait.
fucking
One thing.
girls that you have let go. I'm just
Well-
not vibing with her. I didn't like this conversation.
One thing.
I didn't like this. I just didn't feel connection. Like blah blah blah.
One thing that doesn't irk me, but I feel like irks Ashley, is when Caleb's we'll talk about like some other girl, and Caleb's like, she's single.
Oh, I was so
It
ready.
doesn't irk
It's-
me. I think it's
It is-
funny.
You do know I do that as a fucking joke, right?
No, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I fucking laugh about it, but Ashley's like, what the fuck?
It is
What
always
about
as a joke.
her brains? What about like what she brings to the conversation?
Or-
what does she like?
One thing that makes Ashley mad
But
is
here's-
when you say you get an ick.
Oh,
I don't
where
ever say that I got an egg. I always like
Yeah.
So
I don't say
I don't.
ick.
You don't
Ick
say
isn't the
ick.
word that I
No,
use.
but that's what I've classified it as because like I would talk like Kyle and we'd talk and I'd be like, "Huh, Caleb hasn't brought up whatever her name is." And Kyle like looks at me and I'm like, "Oh, don't fucking tell me Caleb got an ick." And he goes, "Well," because like
Well,
that's what
some
I've
of 'em I don't.
classified it as.
Because like so sometimes you haven't talked about them, so like she'll like bring up some girl, and I'm like,
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't
So
heard anything.
when out in the kitchen earlier, when I asked about her, I had an inkling. I had a feeling. And I was like, I'm gonna ask about it. So then I asked you about it and you're like, we and I'm like, that's it. It gets categorized as your ick.
Okay, can I defend myself here?
I don't know if I want you to.
May I?
Oh, fine.
All I'm gonna say is I'm not dating to just date. At this point, I'm dating because
He
I
wants
see a
long-term.
life. I want
I get
long
that.
term. And if something as simple as on a second date not being able to hold a conversation
Yeah.
together or struggling to, if you're
And
already struggling,
that
what
one
does the future look like with
that one I can totally understand.
You're talking about the teacher.
Yeah. Yeah, because you just let that one fly, and I gave you so many different solutions, and you were just
You
like,
did.
it's over with. And it's like, Caleb, if you really fucking liked the girl and it was going good,
So then my only defense to that would be if I really did like her, then wouldn't I actually try to take your
no,
suggestions?
because you're just whiny and you take it as just an L. And you're just like, no, oh well, next.
That's fair.
Yep.
The next
With-
doesn't
with-
usually come for a
with-
couple months, but
With all respect.
no, it's not.
Maybe just
So, okay, maybe I'm getting an inkling into why you don't support me sometimes. Because it's
There
really
we
hard
go.
to. I get it. I do want the
But
support,
if
though.
if I didn't support you, you wouldn't have stayed. Because I've definitely, Kyle can attest, pushed some people out.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Like, if I don't like you, I'll push you out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You've watched the downfall of one.
Yeah. Although that was already kind of on a downfall.
That was already spiraling.
You just kind of helped.
I did.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. I don't want to waste my time.
Yeah.
If I'm not vibing with you, or if I'm not feeling like this is gonna be something long term, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna waste my time pursuing something. Even like
Ooh.
because one of my other biggest pet peeves in general is when people grill me. And when I say that is like my parents. My parents are notorious for it.
My fucking mom.
I'll go out on a date and my parents be like, "Oh, who is she?
What?
Who is she? What
Yeah.
does she do? Where is she from? What?
Yeah.
Where'd you meet her? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Because my parents are also notorious for like, I'll say, I don't want to talk about this. And they'll be like, well, we just want to know, what's her name?
Mm.
Where's she from? Like, so we can Google her, so we can look her up on Facebook or something. You know what I mean?
Let me
It's
see
like,
cap
so-
her.
So off that, so my dad's pretty mellow. Like he's never grilled me about that at all. Like the first day I ever saw Ashley in person, I was over at her house. And my dad called me right in the middle of like us hanging out. And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "At a friend's house." And he's like, "Oh, you're at a girl's house?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, call me later." I'm like, "All right, see ya." And like hung up. Like he didn't question me any further, and when I called him later, he only asked how it went. He
let me
wasn't like,
guess.
"Oh, who was she?" Like he didn't grill me on it. But my mom,
Your mom would have.
like
His mom did.
Yeah.
one of my biggest pet peeves with her, like even before Ashley, when I had a phone growing up, and it was her, well, my parents that paid for the phone bill.
Take your time.
She would always want to see my phone and go through it.
Oh,
And like, it's not that I had anything to hide, but like that's my personal shit.
Yeah.
And she would always pull the card, I pay for it. And it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like I don't want you to go through my shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, my dad, he never asked to go through my phone at all. But, like, my mom, I mean, she would grill me about everything. And I get, she cares about me. Like, I'm her son. Like, I get it. But it's like, Mom, like...
At some point, give it a rest.
I want to be, and
I want to be my own person.
If I moved in with her, granted, I love my mom to death. But when I went through a hard time back, however many years ago before Ashley, if I were to move in with my mom, if I was to hang out with anyone, including you, she wanted me to let her know when I was leaving, where I was going, and what time I would be home. And I chose not to do that because we never have a time when we'll be back.
My parents used to do the same thing.
Like we could be out till 3, 4 in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
and she would question me all the fucking time. It's like, Mom, like, I love you, but you can lay off a little bit. Like I'm not going to fucking get killed.
Yeah, and if I do, you'll be the first call.
Right.
You're my ICE.
Right. Like, like, holy shit.
No, my parents used to do the same thing to me. I'd be like, I'm going to hang out with Kyle. What time are you going to be home? You guys should know at this point, we don't have an end time.
Yeah.
We go until we're like, oh, shit, it's 3 in the morning. We got to work at 8.
Like, Mom, if you get a call that I'm in jail, something fucking went wrong, whatever.
One of our escapades.
If you wake up and my car's in the driveway, whatever, obviously I made it home safe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in jail,
Yeah.
High five.
No, I was going to ask Kyle now, like, what his biggest pet peeve with me is. Because he didn't answer.
I could say one, but it's more of a joke. And it'd be your breathing.
That's a fair one. I get it.
But we rip on you.
Yes.
Because we call you Darth Vader.
Yeah. If
but
anyone doesn't know, I do breathe heavy sometimes.
I wouldn't say that's more of a pet peeve. It's just funny. Because we're all kind of in on it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And don't tell me there's not one, because I know there has to be
Personal space.
I do have a problem with that, especially with you.
So like when you come over,
got a little man crush.
You got the whole fucking living room to yourself, and you sit right next to me.
Today when I came in, I went straight over to Kyle, sat down right next to him, put my arm around him.
Yeah. It's like you got the whole half of the couch. Like, you got over there.
Even I feel like...
So take your time, you do that to piss us off.
Yeah.
I kind of do it to piss you off, because I know it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah. like it's not like I'm going to, like, throw hands or anything, but it's like, dude, like, you know what I'm saying?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Kyle is a man of personal space.
He is.
And, like,
sure.
public...
affection?
Yeah, PDA.
Yeah.
I am very well aware. And half the things I do these days is because I know what pisses him off.
Yeah.
And I do it to get a rile up out of him.
There was one time I was mad in the moment, but I'm not now. Senior year, when I got back with my ex, before graduation. I don't want to name drop.
Right. I know who you're talking about, I think.
My long-term one that I had.
Yeah.
So we had got back together, and I didn't tell my parents. But my dad found out because my friends told him. And I can't remember if you were one of those involved.
I don't think so.
I know my dad said 2 names for sure. But I couldn't remember if he said you. But he had warned me not to. And then, ultimately we broke up, like, duh. But, like, in the moment I was kind of heated because it's like, what the fuck gives them the nerve, to like butt in. But at the same time, it's like, now looking back, it's like, well, thank God I avoided that train wreck.
If you tell me not to tell anyone something, I am generally really good about not telling anyone something.
Right.
Because I have that respect for you.
Exactly.
So, I would too, but like you best
To an extent.
To an extent, you best know that
If
Kyle
you-
and or my mom will know.
If
Oh,
you were like
absolutely.
if you're like, hey, like I'm gonna go hang out with this other girl while you're talking, like let's say you have a girlfriend, you're gonna go hang out with someone else, and you told me not to tell anyone. That might be a no-no.
Right. Yeah, like just like if you were to tell
It's
me
all
right now that
circumstantial.
if you were gonna be like, I'm going to hang out with this chick,
Right.
See,
I'm
that's
texting Ashley.
that's like
Right.
that's the one thing when like, you know, the fake cheating thing surfaced.
Mm-hmm.
That's a story for a different podcast.
Yes, that is.
Is I went to Caleb
She did.
and I was like, I know you would tell me even if
Yeah.
you were best friend, like even if
Here's-
you are best friends. And
Right.
Caleb like reassured, like absolutely, because I do not condone that at
Yeah.
all.
And
Right.
here's the thing, and maybe this is a good ending point,
Yeah,
and maybe a good tie-in to maybe next episode.
perfect.
But if there's one thing that I will never live for, and I don't care if you're my best friend, you're my dad, my brother, I don't care who you are. If you cheat on somebody, you are a piece of shit,
Mm-hmm.
and I will throw hands with you. I will throw hands with you because that is unacceptable. And when I say throw hands, I mean, I don't know that I would physically. If I found out Kyle was cheating on you, Ashley, you best believe I'm going to come over here and I'm going to yank his ass off the couch.
Well, the thing that
But-
pisses me off about cheaters too is the fucking excuses they give.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, I'm fucked up, or you know,
Oh,
They
yeah.
blame it on themselves. It's
I
pity,
made a
pity me,
mistake.
pity me.
Or
it's like,
or you didn't give me this when I needed it.
yeah, it's like if you're fucked up, like, just break it off then, or something. Like,
Yeah.
like how are you gonna put your significant other through this when you can just break up with them and you don't got to worry about it?
Exactly.
Like,
But
you know,
because like I've always told Kyle, like if I'm ever in a committed relationship
Mhm.
and I, God forbid,
Mhm.
ever get put into a situation where I'm about to cheat,
Like, please stop me.
either please stop me or at the very least, the one thing I would do, and it's the shittiest way to break up with somebody, but at least I would do it so that way you're kind of going in with a clean slate, is at least just shoot a text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shittiest way to break up with someone, I know.
at least it's something.
But at least in that moment that you're about to cheat on somebody, you're not actually cheating on them.
Right.
At least let that, like, it's shitty. And you're going to break the other person's heart beyond belief.
I just don't
Right.
know how someone can live.
But
with
you're going to do that
themselves.
either way if you cheat on them anyways and they find out.
Right.
But you best believe I will yank your ass off the couch if you were ever cheat on Ashley. And I will tell Ashley immediately. And I will
Right.
hold you back while she throws her hands and punches you
I don't-
square
I'm
in
just-
the dick.
I don't know where Kyle would go.
I don't know where he'd go either.
Probably my car.
That's all you'd have.
If you
Both
cheated,
cars.
I would say my house. But if you cheated, nope.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Ain't no place for that.
All right, we can bring this up next
But yeah,
week.
let's talk about this on the next episode, which this is a long-winded episode, so
Well, sorry, everybody. Hopefully you got to know us three more
yeah, and what makes us tick.
Yeah.
about our anger issues.
All of our anger issues. Yeah.
All
That's
right.
great.
As
Well-
always, follow us on social media. Ouch, Mocha bit me. Oh shoot.
Facebook is Kindling Conversations.
Instagram is Kindling Conversations. TikTok is Kindling.conversation.
I'm glad you took that place for
I was
bed.
gonna say,
I
yeah.
got you.
We're gonna have to really figure out how we do this from now on now.
So the
And then website.
marketing for TikTok is gonna be determined by
Yeah,
someone else.
we'll
now.
get that. We'll
Yeah.
get that up.
Yeah.
Maybe one of our devoted listeners,
Yeah.
one of our embers, can run it.
Yeah. Aaron, what you doing?
Aaron, yeah.
You want a spot on the Kindling Conversations podcast? Permanent guest.
There's an open spot.
No, website is kindlingconversations.com. Discord, kindlingconversations.com/Discord.
Become an ember.
Become a member by listening to every single episode. And I got to thinking about this more. Are we the logs?
Yes.
So we're the logs. The embers are everyone who's listened to every episode.
Yep.
Does that make the regular listeners, like who follow us and do listen regularly, but not to every episode, does that make them the flame?
Or we the flames?
No.
No.
We're the
No.
logs. Our embers are the sparks. Because
Yep.
our embers
Okay.
are the people who listen to every episode because
Yep.
they're the one that keeps us going.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say so.
So like the other listeners are like the flames.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fair. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
All right. On that note,
on that note, have a great day and we will see you later.
toodles.
Deuces.
Adios. And yes, this is actually Caleb and not Ben's line.